So the next stage is Dorky Dad, Adolescent Daughter. And then Dorky Dad, you might be thinking, hey, why'd you call it that? Couldn't you come positive like good dad or cool dad? Because teenagers are cool. Well, you might want to be cool. and even her friends might think that you're cool dad and you do cool things and you understand cool things. But she just looks at you and it's just like, you're Dorky Dad. She needs to knock you off the pedestal. So this is from age 11 to about 21. We call it the 520 window. It's the window of time that you have to redeem a relationship with her. And so during that 520 window, if you don't have a relationship with her, it's hard to have a relationship in the next stage. So it's very, very critical that this stage you don't screw up, just to be honest with you. And we'll talk about where that is. But let's get into that space, that Dorky Dad space. So let's say that your daughter's 12. And so you've agreed to have a slumber party with 3 of her friends. And you're going to be cool, Dad. I mean, it's always been great with your daughter. So you're going to have a movie, you're going to have some pizza, you're going to take them home. So the girls come home from school on Friday night, they're all excited, they're giggling, they're having fun, and you're just like, ay, what did I get myself into? But what happens is, okay, well, we're going to go to the movie, that's fine, so they can't drive, guess who gets to drive? Is you, Dad. So you pile them all up into the caravan. Well, of course, you know that you have kids, so now you've got a caravan. You had a sports car, guess what? You have a caravan, but that's okay. They pile in the back. Nobody sits in the front. You are now the chauffeur. So you head on off to the movie. Well, what are you going to do? You can come home or go in the mall, but you might as well say, no, I'll go in the movie. So you go to the movie. It's actually kind of interesting. It's a little bit adult because they want to have a chick flick. They want to have some teenage kind of things. So mom and daughter picked out this movie and Dad just showed up, bought the tickets, and looked at it. So now we jump in the car, and then the girls are in the back, and they're just, oh, that was so cool. And they go, oh, yeah, that was just awesome. And you're like, well, didn't they get something out of this? Wasn't there something else going on just besides that it was so cool and it was so awesome? So you're thinking, I actually understood the plot. Obviously, they didn't understand the plot. They were just thinking it was so cool. So you decide, okay, I'm going to impart some fatherly wisdom to these 12-year-olds. And so you talk about the movie and you talk about the plot and, here's what the girl did and here's what the guy did and this happened. And you're just pontificating and you're feeling like, oh, man. They're just kind of quiet and they're getting it, right? They're getting it. And then all of a sudden from the back seat, there's this groan. And it's just like, Dad! And you're like, yeah, I'm right here. And she says, that wasn't it at all. And I'm like, no, that really was what was going on. It's just like, you don't get it. You just don't get it at all. And you're like, what's going on here? And so you look for support from the other girls, and they're just like kind of petrified. Because what's happened is all of a sudden, they think that you kind of are cool, Dad. You took them to the movie, you said it, you listened to it, you actually kind of did get the plot, because they understood it too. But all of a sudden, your own daughter is just like, okay, fine, maybe you did understand it. But you're Dorky Dad now. That's all she gets. Because you get to get knocked off and you're just like, what did I do? And then it's just silence. And you're smart enough to go, I don't want to wade into this water one more time. And so it's like, okay, well, Mom got some pizza. That's great. We're going to just go home. I'll get something to eat. I'll feel better. A little comfort food. This is going to be perfect. And so I'm in the caravan, we drive home, get them in the garage, boom, they go piling out, they head into the kitchen. You get out, you collect yourself, it's like, okay, this is fine, I kind of screwed up, but everything's fine, this is going to be good. So you come into the kitchen, and you look on the counter, and it's just like, I thought we were having pizza. What is this? So you look at the top, and instead of that being pepperoni, this is sliced tomatoes. And then the girls are talking to mom, and mom says, oh yeah, I was able to get this, I don't know, whole wheat, gluten-free, broccoli, cauliflowers, low-fat, skim cheese, something. I don't even know what it was, thin crust, it was something. So I'm looking at this stuff and I'm going, this looks like cardboard. This doesn't even look like pizza. I'm hungry. I'm trying to have stuff. And they're just like, oh, Mom, you did such a great job. This is exactly the pizza that we wanted. And I'm like, this is crazy. So you head for your study and it's just like, just let them take care of it. Mom will know what she's doing. Mom will take care of it. Mom did take care of it. She had the right stuff. So I'm in the study. They eat their pizza, and there's lots of noise, and they're going up, and they go upstairs, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I'll go into the kitchen. I suppose I'll have to have a hot dog and a Wonder Bread hot dog bun, and I'm hungry. Man, now I'm really hungry. So I go in there, and just like I thought, they didn't eat much of it. They loved it, right? But they didn't eat much of it. So I'm like, well, maybe I should have some of this pizza. And I look at that, and I just like, ugh. All right, well, I'll get my hot dog. You get the hot dog, and you look at the pizza. You go, well, wow, maybe I could take this gluten-free, whole wheat, white sauce, broccoli, cauliflower thing, put some cheese on it, and maybe I could take my hot dog and cut it on there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I put extra cheese on there, full of fat cheese, and I sliced my hot dog on there because you got to have some meat, right? Put it in the microwave, heat it up, and all right, well, I'm hungry, right? So I wolfed this thing down. But hot dogs and pizza, I actually did that when I was a child. I really don't suggest it, but that's another story. So anyway, I'm going to go to bed, and there's just all this giggling and noise, and just like, ugh. How am I going to sleep? Well, finally I go to sleep. And I wake up with this brilliant idea. Because I was just going to take the girls home. And that was going to be that. And I could take my Saturday back and not have all this giggling and stuff and cool and awesome and whatever else they were saying. I didn't know. I just wasn't in their world. Seemed like Mom understood it. And I knew that she had taken my daughter to Starbucks. So it's okay, we'll get them all into the caravan, we'll take them off to Starbucks, and this is going to be fine. I'm going to be cool dad again. They're going to realize that I know what a Starbucks is. They like it. They've seen their mom goes there. It's Starbucks. Coffee's a little expensive, but hey, it's for my daughter. Doing one for the team. So we get everybody in the car, head over, and I'm going to spring it on them, surprise them. It's going to be great. And I say, well, I thought, girls, that maybe we'll stop at Starbucks before we go home. And they're just like, woo, Starbucks, this is going to be great. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm cool, Dad. So we head on over to Starbucks. We get in there. Little gal in the window comes back and she says, okay, what would you like to have? What would you like to have? And I said, all I really want is a grande, coffee of the day, little room for cream, everything's fine, and then we'll get something for the girls. And I say, okay, what would you like? Well, they had they did not want to have a coffee of the day, right? They wanted lattes, they wanted no skim, they wanted soy milk. I've never had soy milk in my coffee, okay? They got soy milk, they got no foam, they got extra foam, they got extra shots, they get a pump and a half of this and a pump of that. And okay, and then of course as I'm trying to relay this to the gal in the window, she's trying to bring it back to me in Starbucks, because it's a whole different way of talking if you want to go in Starbucks, which is part of why I don't bother with this latte stuff. I go in, I get a cup of coffee, it's always been good. In fact, I just as soon do it at 7-Eleven, because why am I spending, $3-4 for a cup of coffee? But, that's another story, that's me. So anyway, but we're doing it for the girls, right? Doing one for the team. So finally I get through this whole thing, get them in, they got the tray, come in, put it back here, and all of a sudden it's just like, well, Dad, this isn't the way Mom gets it. Who is saying this? It's not the other girls. It's my little princess. My little princess is saying this. And I'm like, okay, fine. We've been in line here for 20 minutes. We're trying to figure out what this stuff is. So I just kind of... And the other girls are just like, whoa. So this bomb goes off in the caravan. And so once again, all silence. So in the caravan, out we go, drive out. Who's going to get off first? Just the facts. Here we go. Drive out, drive out. Everybody's in the back. Nobody's in the front seat. Last girl off. My daughter, I say, honey, could you come up into the front seat and ride with Dad? Fine. And you know that there's some stuff going on. That something changed. How did I do that? How did I screw this up? I mean, yeah, I understand Mom knows all these kind of pizzas and she's all into Starbucks and doing all that stuff. And what happened, though? Because I had a great relationship. I talked about, we go to these Disney movies before, and I'd talk about them, and she'd go, oh, Dad, wow, that's so cool, I didn't know. Yeah. So anyway, she comes in the back, I'm in the seat, and I'm going, okay, why did you embarrass me in front of your friends? Or I could blow up. I could have the steam out. Something gonna happen here, right? And maybe, Dad, it's the silent treatment, and that would be probably the most typical response. Hopefully you aren't going to blow up. You could. You're the dad here, and that might happen. Or you could say something really snarky and shut down the relationship, and then it would be driving home, smoke coming out of your ears. She's like this. I can't wait to get home and tell Mom what happened. Or maybe, you could use this as a time to build a relationship with your daughter. Because guess what? She still wants a relationship with you. She still thinks you're her dad. Even though you said that, or she said, you're a dork, you don't understand anything. She actually still wants to have a relationship and have approval from you. How do I know this? Well, I'm not smart enough to know this. I asked Ellen, and Ellen told me that that's what was going on in her head. So if I can process that and go, okay, she's just changing. There's all kinds of things changing. She's an adolescent. She's got physical things and mental things and school and wondering about boys and just all kinds of stuff. And when I was the only person in her life that could show her the outside world, all of a sudden there's all kinds of people that are showing her the outside world. So maybe, just maybe, if we kind of take a different tack here and go, okay, something happened here. She changed stages. She is on a different sheet of music. So if you can see that cue and understand, maybe you can say, okay, honey, I didn't realize that you like soy milk in your coffee. Now that might sound kind of weird, right? But when you start talking about something that she knows and likes and thinks is cool, she can say, well, yeah, Dad, I kind of like soy milk in my coffee. Who knew? Not me. So here I am in this relationship, and I'm building a relationship because I'm allowing her to come into the world she's moved into, meaning me, so I can understand what's going on. So maybe, just maybe, this gives me other windows into building a relationship with her. I don't want to overemphasize this point. We're going to talk about some skills that we can use in building relationships with our daughter, because it is confusing. But during this stage especially, you don't want to check out. You don't want to check out. So really, in winning this stage, what you need to do is let her grow up and help her. And she needs a lot of skill. She needs a lot of understanding. She's trying to process this big world, and guess what? You've been through a lot of the stuff that she is going to be going through. So she really needs you and wants you. So if you allow her to grow up and not pick a fight, but pick your battles from time to time, we'll talk about that. But allow her to grow up, you can win the stage. Well, how can you lose the stage? How can this thing just go way off the rails? Well, one of the things is you can decide to not change. I'm Dad. I know what's right. And this is how it's going to be in my house, young lady. And if you want any privileges, this is how it's going to be. Because I didn't change, right? Maybe you're changing, but I didn't change. And guess what? You still get to be the dad. We want you to be the dad. We want you to be the head of your household. All those things. But in your relationship with your daughter, it's changed because she's changing. She needs you to parent father in a different style. That's what we're talking about. So if you can recognize this change, recognize this stage, you can move through that. Another thing, of course, you can do is just like, I'm out of here. Mom knows what's going on. She seems to understand it. She's a woman. My daughter's a woman. She gets all this emotional stuff. I don't get it. She doesn't want me anyway. She made that perfectly clear, which is not true. But you can con yourself into believing that. And so you just back away and you just say, she'll pop out the other end and be an adult, and then I'll be able to talk to her. Well, guess what, Dad? If you lose this 520 window, this 10 years, and you don't have a relationship, and you stay just being hero dad, and she'll give you some space in there because she's very forgiving and wants you to be in her life, Dad. She really does. But if you just check out, good luck on trying to be in that last stage, which is the long stage when she's an adult, a full-on adult, fully functioning adult. And one little kind of side note. Because of all these changes, we're kind of just talking about that this stuff changes on a macro level. But one of the things that she needs from you, that she needs you to make the change, is appropriate touch. And a lot of times, when we talk to dads, it's really hard because they don't know what to do. Because they used to be, they're throwing their daughters around, they're hugging them, and they hug back, and everything's good. And then all of a sudden, Dad goes, wait a second, she's a woman. Now what am I supposed to do? Well, what she needs from you is touch. And if you don't touch her like you used to, she's like, oh, I'm ugly, or he's repulsed by me, or who knows what. I mean, there's all kinds of thoughts that come in, but it's critical that you continue touching her, and so we call that appropriate touch. And so you might have to change your style a little bit. Now maybe you do a buddy hug, or maybe you're not just shaking hands. You got to do, but you can move in and hold her hand and do physical touching and find a balance. She'll help you with this. Some daughters will just force you to continue to hug them because they want to be hugged and they want daddy. But don't miss that part of this change because, again, you're all grown up. You're not going to change. She is going to change. She's not all grown up. She's an adolescent. So in this transition, don't miss that.